So, we have two watchers today. Although Siren over there is the one more likely to jump on the bed and put her nose into things. But Psylocke looks like she wants to get the Siren. She gonna get you, girl? What you doing? Weirdo. Weirdo. So hello everybody. We are getting ready to, I think, just about finish this session. Maybe not this section. We may have to do another section to do it. But I do think that I will be signing off on this one for this session at the end of this session. So and then when I sign it, I will be spraying it with a fixative so that everything stays put, which seems to be a problem. So yeah, we've just got this flower, this little bulb, and this little leaf or petal. I'm trying to decide what I want it to be. But I did finish on TikTok putting in the last of my glitter shine. I really like how this came out. And I touched up my other shiny stuff. Hopefully you can get a good look at the shiny. Maybe. Yeah. Look at all that. It's pretty. I do have to learn how to do these lines a little thinner. It's all a learning process, right? And I've also brought up some more palettes. I was looking for some specific pastel colors amongst other things. The first one I brought up was this Bon Voyage. I do like the color story of this. I just never use it. So palettes that I never use are actually perfect for coming up here. It has some variations on our oranges and yellows, and then it has some other lighter colors. So this will probably stay up here. I also brought up my Cleonod Cosmetics Touch of Divinity collection. This is an old collection, and I have used it a bit in the past. I do not use it much now. I was actually not very impressed with these in terms of pigmentation and all that. They are very shiny though, and I did use this one a little bit on the edges of my shiny bits here. But yeah, so we're going to hang on to that up here probably as well. It might go back downstairs for Christmas. We'll see. I have Christmas palettes galore now. And then because I literally have no pastels anywhere in the stuff I have up here, and I literally only have 3 pastel palettes, and one of those palettes doesn't have all the colors that I want, and the other one is just not coming up here. My Glaminatrix pastel palette's staying downstairs. So I'm not using the Sickly Sweet that much. I do, again, like it. I do like the color stories, and again, we've got some more tones in the oranges and the pinks and stuff that I otherwise don't have up here. But I suspect that this is going to stay upstairs as well. Again, I really like it, but I don't use it much, and so I almost feel like it's too expensive of a palette up here, but we've got a couple of those. We've got the Simply Posh's, which are not cheap. The one Nomad, which even though it's on sale now, but when it was originally on sale was like $40 or $50 somewhere in there. So yeah, we're going to keep this one probably upstairs as well, so we have our pastels. So that's our 3 new palettes. We are going to go ahead and get started on these last few things, and I'm kind of hoping we'll get it finished today at some point. Hoping. I'd like to sign off on this one. I have to find the right pencil to sign off on this one. Because the last one I used was a little much. So I thought the first decision I would have to make is whether or not this is a leaf or a petal. But I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and get the flower and the little bud down here. You know, we have these little buds everywhere. So I'm going to get that all done, and then I'm going to decide whether or not I want the contrast of the leaf or a softer petal, because the petal that would go there is one of the reasons I was looking at pastel colors. But in the meantime, I can get the rest of this started, and hopefully we'll get done very, very soon. So I hope you all are doing well. Yeah, not a lot of talking today, at least not so far. I really want to focus on getting it done. I've put up a question about what I should do in the next one I should do. It's only had one response, so I just may end up pulling that down and just looking at what I have and deciding. There's a few things I'm looking at that I want to do. One of the things that I kind of want to do is one of Taz's pictures, my son's, but I am not sure that I am up to that skill level yet. And it too is a bunch of leaves, and I kind of want to branch out from leaves. But it's a pretty picture. It's all gold and green. In case you didn't know, if you haven't swung by, on both Blue Sky and my Facebook, I have been posting my son's photographs. He's doing very well. He is remembering some of the stuff that I've been trying to show him. Like, for example, I showed him different ways of taking the pictures of trees. And he actually did one of them on his own. I was really surprised. when I got the copy of the photo. He's enjoying it, I think, but it's not like it's... I guess the best way to put it is that it's still something he's not used to doing. So I think we've got a ways to go before we can really dig in and say, yeah, this is it. But we're going to keep playing around with it. It is something that he has been doing for a long time. We just didn't always respond to his pictures. And we probably should have. I just didn't think about it. He will be seeing the doctor, not the Friday that this goes up, but the Friday following. We're going to talk about a few things we're noticing with the meds. In general, he is doing well. But autistics have something called, not all of them, my autistic son, does something called echolalia, or echolalia, which is when they mimic and they repeat things they hear. And he does a lot of self-talk. And one of the things that we've noticed is that since his new med, but we have noticed that he's self-talking and doing the echolalia a lot more and a lot louder. So we're a bit concerned. The doctor may say that that's just something we're going to have to live with, but we'll see if he can figure out an adjustment on the new med to help with that. One of the things we did this last week to help him see different angles. So we went down to the garden and I tried to, hold on a minute. So now those lines are a little bit clearer. Anyway, as I was saying, we went down to the garden to, well, we were going to take the garden down. It's not down yet, but there's reasons for that. So we're going to take the garden down, but while I was down there, I also used the garden to try to teach him about getting close to what he's photographing and doing different angles of what he's photographing. He honestly wasn't that happy with it. And at one point he left his phone on the inside. I told him to go back and get it. But I mean, you know, he never had those classes. He never had anything like that in school. He never discussed art, much less photography. So I'm trying to broaden his skill set, help him broaden his skill set. He just didn't like the way I went about it. You know, kids. So, yeah, we did that for a bit. We ended up not taking the garden down. The garden is actually, folks, we have already had our first frost. We have been Mostly in the lower 80s when we hit the 80s at all right now. Generally lower than that. And folks, I still have shit turning. I still have tomatoes trying to turn. My peppers aren't doing the leaf drop that they do when it gets cold. It is weird out there. It's really weird. Really weird. And so we ended up not doing what I was planning to do, but I expect that's going to come up in the next week or two. I did post one last picture, I think, of one of the peppers on Blue Sky. But yeah, it's just I don't know. I'm gonna go with that. I don't know. I don't know what's up. I don't. I don't know. Don't you have to be careful, quote unquote careful, to not declare this done too soon? It is so tempting to, you're so close to the end, and it's just so tempting to not quite, to how to phrase it, to just want to be done with it and go, that's good enough. Sometimes I think, and I don't want to do that. I am trying not to do that. So but the one thing I do want to make sure to do is to sign it with you guys. You've been here for most of it. I mean, there's bits and pieces that I've done without you present, or that I've done on TikTok, like all of our shiny. Look at all that shiny. That was all done on TikTok. All of this. And basically, I used glue and glitter. And then I also did some more around the leaf edge. I'm very pleased with it overall. seeing the color here. I'm seeing this as being very light. Any color I add would be pastel or washed out from what's in the photo that I've been using as my reference. And so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn that into a dark leaf. Yeah, I really do see us getting this done by the end of this session, because right now all I've got to do is saturate the colors. Exciting! It's almost there. So, about to get into a lot of repetition of me saturating these colors and getting my dots and all that shit in, but we are almost there, folks. I'm going to be able to sign this tonight. Woohoo! Looking forward to that. Alrighty, better get back into it. You gonna talk to me while I'm working? You gonna make yourself comfortable? Hmm? What you doing, baby? What you doing? Okay, folks, so I think it's pretty much done. I think I have to do some cleanup around the edges before I can actually spray it down. But I think we are ready for our first signing. I would say drum roll, please, but I do not have a drum roll sound. Okay, we're just gonna. And then we put the date kind of away from the picture. So 11. You guys aren't even seeing it. 3/24. And yes, I went with purple. My original picture, I did it in black, but I went with a really light purple. What do y'all think? So she's done. She's done. She's done with all her shiny prettiness. Like I said, I'm gonna have to do some cleanup of the outer edges, and now I have to pick out something for our next image. But I'm done. This one didn't take as long, but it's done. I'm going to try to do something without leaves next time, I think. I have a couple of options. Mostly without leaves. I have one that I'm leaning towards. I'm not sure if I am up to it, but there's one that I really like, and I'm kind of leaning towards it. I just don't want to start it and then find out that it was above my ability yet. So I'm thinking about it or one of two others. So, and no leaves in the others. I'm thinking about it. Anyway, so that is it. We have finished our um, orange citrus flowers and our orange flowers or whatever it was. I forget what the title was now. It's been a bit. Um, and yeah, we're done. Cat fur and all. She's up there asleep, but it's done. It's done. I'm pretty pleased with it. You'll have to let me know down below what you think. Did you stay with us through the whole thing and what you thought of the process and all of that? And yeah, like, share, subscribe, all the YouTube things. Comment down below. Help us to get up into um, you know, the the algorithm. I'd really appreciate that. And in the meantime, I hope we'll see you later. Bye.